I'm Tori, and today I'm going to be talking about the book Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertalli. I listened to the audiobook narrated by Michael Crouch. So I read this book now because it is being adapted into the movie Love, Simon, and I wanted to read the book before I saw the movie. So this story is about a boy in high school named Simon, and he hasn't told anybody that he's gay, except for an anonymous pen pal who he doesn't know anything about, except that it is another gay boy who goes to his school. And this boy's pen name is Blue, but he has no idea who Blue really is or anything like that. And in the first paragraph of the book, we find out that Simon is being blackmailed by a classmate who found Simon's email account and is threatening to expose both Simon and Blue and to share those emails. And so I was really tense throughout this book because I was expecting something bad to happen, to Simon when this happened, but also to Blue because Simon decided not to tell Blue that he was being blackmailed. And I was sure that this was going to go horribly wrong. And I hate that kind of plot line in any kind of book or movie. Like, even when I was a kid, I could not stand Aladdin because he spent the whole movie telling Jasmine he was a prince. And if he just told her, then all this problems wouldn't have happened, and I've never liked that kind of situation. So I was enjoying this story, but also the whole time I was tense and waiting for something bad to happen. But then it was worth it because the structure of the book feels kind of like a Jane Austen story to me, where life happens, you're going through all this stuff, and then it's just amazing. So it was almost kind of like, I'd say like Clueless, which is an adaptation of a Jane Austen novel. So this story was kind of like Clueless meets You've Got Mail with all the anonymous correspondence with all the uncomfortableness of Aladdin thrown in. So the way this book is structured is it alternates. So you'll get a chapter where you hear about Simon going through his life and, interacting, doing all the stuff he does. And then the next chapter will just be a series of emails between him and Blue. And it was so much fun. And you just, I love those email chapters. I just could not wait for them to come up. And it was so much fun to just hear them talking to each other. And they were so cute together. So this did end up being a really good book, and I really, really enjoyed it, and I reread the ending twice because it was so much fun. So I would recommend it, and now I'm going to talk about spoilers. So I really liked this story. It was such a cute love story. I liked it so much. It was stressful because Martin was blackmailing Simon, and Simon first of all, he didn't tell Abby about it, and he didn't tell Blue about it. So I was stressed out the whole time waiting to see what horrible things were going to happen. And so it was kind of a relief to me partway through the book when Martin just outed Simon. It's like, okay, and none of the fallback hit Blue, and it was okay. It's like, okay, I knew something bad was going to happen. I'm glad it's out of the way. Now we can move on. It also bugged me that throughout most of the book, Simon was sure that Blue was his friend Cal in drama. And you knew it wasn't going to be. It was so obvious it wasn't going to be. And at first, I was, at the beginning of the book, I was terrified he was going to, say something to Cal or say something to Blue and just, ruin it. We made it through so much of the book without that happening. And then he told Blue, he's like, oh, I think you pushed me in a rolling chair. And I also liked that part of the reason Simon got that vibe was because Cal was bisexual, and so he was kind of flirting. And Simon could have dated him if he wanted to. And I really liked it that he decided that, I could date this person, but what I really want, it's not enough to just date anybody. I really want the person I've connected to and that I've know so much about and really, really like. And I thought that was so great. And so then the ending was amazing. I loved the last email that Simon sent saying, I don't know who you are, but I know you, and I think I might be falling in love with you, and please come meet me. And then that he went home to get the shirt, that he'd been sleeping with under his pillow, but for some reason, he was too scared to wear it. And then he put it on and realized that he'd had Blue's phone number this whole time, and he could have known who he was. And just that, oh my gosh, you do like me. And that, it was so great, that feeling when he was at the carnival waiting for Blue, waiting to see if he showed up. That was so much fun. And the cute thing when he went on the Tilt-A-Whirl, and he knew that Blue wouldn't be there because Blue would never set foot on a Tilt-A-Whirl, but he did anyway. So, yeah, that was quite the impressive show of, okay, I'm gonna make myself miserable for you. And it was so cute to see them there. And it was good that they were on the tilt-a-whirl, kind of, because there was the initial shock of, oh my gosh, Blue is Bram. And then, you know, they had, like, to survive the tilt-a-whirl, so they didn't have to react to it right away, because then Bram had to concentrate on not throwing up, and Simon was trying to stop the little thing from spinning more. And it was just so cute watching them sit together, and just, oh my gosh, it was so much fun. And then the whole, like, I loved their little Oreo lunch date. That was so, so, so adorable. And it was so much fun. I loved, my favorite kind of love stories are the ones that give you the Jane Austen, the happy, oh my gosh, this is really happening feeling. And this definitely did that. I loved it so much. I also really loved the structure of the story. I loved it that Simon's whole coming out thing happened a little more than halfway through the book. So, you know, he went through that, and then you got to see what happened. You got to see how all his friends and family reacted. Then it took a while until he actually figured out, or until Bram actually told him who he was. And then they got together, and there was still quite a bit of time left in the book, and so you got to kind of see them together as a couple, and it wasn't like, and they got together and everything magically resolved itself. No, Simon still had to, like, talk to his friends and resolve things with Abby and stuff, and I loved that. I loved kind of getting to see them going forward together. It wasn't like the Disney movie where it was, they kissed and they lived happily ever after. It was more the, we get to see they're actually going to have fun together, and it's going to be really sweet. So it was fun. The book had lots of characters, and I think that was so that you would have to kind of guess quite a bit to know who Blue was. And I guessed that it was Bram right about the time that Simon got the 100% perfect paper back in English and saw that it wasn't his, it was Bram's, and gave it to Bram. Partly because, you know, they kept mentioning this character, and he was kind of off on the side, but he kept being there. And partly because Blue was so good at writing and English, so it would make sense that he would have the 100% paper. So overall, I had a lot of fun reading this book. It was a little bit tense and uncomfortable at times, but bad things didn't end up happening the way that I thought they would. So I think I would enjoy it much more rereading it now that I won't be cringing quite so much. And the ending was just so perfect, and it was so much fun. So I highly recommend this book.